Mga friends, welcome in our Win Month Everyday. And before I proceed, I'd like to extend our gratitude to all the subscribers and viewers in this channel. Thank you for supporting us. This time, I am going to discuss with you about completing the square, a method in getting the roots of a quadratic equation. And I'd like to remind you that the quadratic formula x equals negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. This one is derived from the quadratic equation ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And this is derived through the method completing the square. Now, I'll not be showing to you how this quadratic formula is derived from this quadratic equation because there are variables involved here and you might get confused. So let's get the steps of completing the square in a given quadratic equation. So let's have this one, x squared plus 3x minus 4 equals 0. Now, in this quadratic equation, our a value is 1, our b value is 3, our c value is negative 4. Now, in a kind of a quadratic equation like this, all you have to do is have this constant at the right side of the equation. So, you will get x squared plus 3x equals 4. What's next? We are going to make the left side of the equation a perfect square trinomial. So we only have two terms at the left, so we have to add one more term to make it a perfect square trinomial. And whatever be added at the left side will be also added at the right side. Okay, so how are we going to do it? So we have to write x squared plus 3x. What you will add here at the left side is just the second power of 1/2 of the numerical coefficient of the x term. So our b here is 3. So you will have this is so 1/2 of 3. So that is equal to 3 over 2. Then you raise this to the second power. That will be added right here. So you will have 9 over 4 equals 4. Now, remember, you added the left side by 9 over 4. So, you have to add also the right side by 9 over 4. Okay. Now that the left side is a perfect square trinomial, so you can express that one as the square of a binomial. How to do it? This one, square for this, as the first term of the binomial, that is just x. And the square root of this is 3 over 4 plus minus. So, just write plus 3 over 2. Well, the square root of this, 3 over 2. Then raise it to the second power. Equals. Then this, you have a common okay. You have 4, this understood as 1. So 4 divided by 1, that is equal to 4 times 4, that's equal to 16. Then 4 divided by 4, that is 1 times 9, that is 9. So that is addition, so plus 9. Okay? So have it the other side, you will have x plus 3 over 2 squared equals 25 over 4. This time you get the square root, no? So the next step is to get the square root in both sides of the equation. So the square root of the left side is just equal to x plus 3 over 2. Then you have plus minus the square root of 25 over 4. And what is the square root of 25 over 4? That is just equal to plus minus 5 over 2. Okay? So you have 3 over 2 equals plus minus 5 over 2. I'm just repeating this so you can easily see what's in both sides of the equation. This time we have to solve for x, so we have to transpose this to the right side. So you change the algebraic sign, you will get x equals negative 3 over 2 plus minus 5 over 2. Now, we got the same denominators here. You just simply copy x equals 2, then minus 3 plus minus 5. So there are two values of x here. So for x sub 1, that's equal to negative 3 plus 5 over 2. So you will get negative 3 plus 5, that's 2 over 2. So that's equal to 1. Then for x sub 2, the next root of this quadratic equation, you have negative 3 minus 5 over 2. So you will get negative 8 over negative 3, negative 5, that's negative 8, then over 2. So that's equal to right here, negative 4. So our roots of this quadratic equation are, 1 and negative 4. Okay? So we're able to get the roots of this quadratic equation by completing the square. Let's have another example in which there's a value of a in the quadratic term. My friends, this time our example is about a quadratic equation in which the quadratic term has a numerical coefficient other than 1. By the way, I'd like to remind you that this is our quadratic term, the linear term, and the constant term. Okay? So this is different from the first example. So in this example, our a is equal to 2, our b is negative 5, our c is equal to negative 3. In getting the roots of this quadratic equation by completing the square, the first step is to make this quadratic term to have a numerical coefficient that is equal to 1. So we divide both sides by 2. So you will get x squared minus 5x over 2, then minus 3 over 2 equals 0. Okay, so the next step is to have this constant transposed at the right side. So you will get x squared minus 5 over 2x equals 3 over 2 because that is positive. So we have two terms at the left side. And by the way, our goal in doing this is to add the left side of the equation by another term, by one more term, to make this a perfect square trinomial. And what will be added to the left side? What we will add to the left side is 1/2 the numerical coefficient of the linear term. So this one. So you will have 1/2 times negative 5 over 2. So you will have 5 over 4, which is negative. Okay? So this will be added by plus the second power of that is 25 over 16. Since you added 25 over 16 at the left side, you add it also at the right side. Okay? So our left side is now a perfect square trinomial. So you can express this as the square of a binomial. So you will simply have this one, x minus, then the square root of that one is 5 over 4, then second power equals, then this, you get the sum. So they have the common denominator, which is 16, because this is a factor of 16. So look at this common factor. So 16 divided by 2, that is 8 times 3, that is equal to 24. plus 16 divided by 16, that is 1 times 25, 25. So what do we get here? So we have x minus 5 over 4 squared equals 24 plus 25, that is equal to 49 over 16. What's the next step? The next step is to get the square root in both sides of the equation. So squaring both sides of the equation, you will get x minus 5 over 4 equals plus minus the square root of 49 over 16. So what is the square root of this? Okay, so the square root of 49 is 7 and the square root of 16 is 4. So you will have x minus 5 over 4 equals plus minus 7 over 4. Then we still have a constant at the left side, so transpose this to the other side. You will get x equals 5 over 4 plus minus 7 over 4. Okay, so we have plus minus here, so that means we have two values of x. For the first x value, you will get 5 plus 7 over 4. So that's equal to 12 over 4. So that's equal to 3. So the first root of this quadratic equation is 3. Then for the next root, you will get 5 minus 7 over 4. So you will get negative 2 over 4. So they have a common factor, which is 2. So you can write that x sub 2 is equal to negative 1/2. So friends, we got the roots of this quadratic equation, which are roots. You have negative 1/2 and 3. Okay, so we're able to get the roots of the quadratic equation, this one, by completing the square. So the steps were given to you. Okay, so that's the beauty of applying completing the square in getting the roots of a quadratic equation, especially if the quadratic equation is so difficult to be transformed into factored form. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, my friends, thank you very much for watching, and if you like this, please continue support us. And if you have some topics you would like us to discuss, please write it in our comment section. Stay safe,